My. Jhonny Gonzalez has 57 wins, 48 knockouts, 8 defeats, 3 of them by knockout, and his last loss was against Daniel Ponce de Leon in 2012 by knockout. Gary Russell Jr. is 27-1 with 15 KOs, if I'm correct. It's close. Almost very official to the point where Jhonny Gonzalez may be signing with Haymon for 3 fights to fight 3 times on NBC this year if he defeats, well, first it would be Gary Russell. Then if he defeats Gary Russell, it would be Abner Mares in June. Then it defeats Abner Mares. Then the winner will go on to take on Leo Santa Cruz at the end of this year. So basically, you got 3 fighters right there already. Now, Jhonny Gonzalez is not a Haymon fighter yet. But you got 3 fighters right there already, 4 actually, whose paths are somewhat set. To whereas we should pretty much know who they're going to be fighting next. I am T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. Marathon going on here a little bit. I cover every single major fight live. It is official. On Jhonny Gonzalez Twitter, it said March the 3rd, but that's on a Tuesday, that he'll be returning. The Haymon card is actually on March the 7th. That's the Adrian Broner, John Molina, the Robert Guerrero, Keith Thurman. So it only has 2 cards on that bill. Now, if they put Jhonny Gonzalez versus Gary Russell Jr. right there in that spot, then you got a perfect card right there with Robert Guerrero, Keith Thurman, Adrian Broner, John Molina, and then Jhonny Gonzalez versus Gary Russell Jr. Hell of a way to kick off boxing on NBC. Hell of a way. And then also major exposure for all 6 of those fighters, win or lose. But then you got Andre Berto versus Jose Zito Lopez floating around out there. Maybe that'll be the 3rd card on that bout, or maybe that will be pushed up to the April 11th Al Haymon card. Well, see, me, T Street, I cover every major fight live. It is my duty to cover every major fighter, truthfully, every contender and even prospects. That's just what I do. So I'm familiar with all these fighters. I watched multiple of these fighters' fights. I've covered multiple of these fighters' fights. And the way I look at it right now is Gary Russell Jr. is vulnerable. Gary Russell Jr. has the fast hands, but the fast hands that often get hurt. So how does that limit his power going up against top competition? Now, the only thing is Jhonny Gonzalez has been stopped before, but can Gary Russell stop him? Gary Russell was faster than him, so you can expect a different fight than it was with Vasyl Lomachenko. Lomachenko at that point in time, only 1-1 with 1 KO, really put on a boxing lesson, to Gary Russell Jr. So Gary Russell Jr. has the chance to, when going into the ring against a tough contender, being the faster and maybe being able to outbox and outmove Jhonny Gonzalez. You see me? But at the same time, if Gary Russell Jr. decides to get into a situation where he's going to try to exchange in the middle of the ring in any instance during the fight, then there's a good chance he's going to get his ass knocked out. Simple as that, because Lomachenko was close to stopping him. So then Lomachenko stopped him mentally. So put it this way, if Jhonny Gonzalez can go in there and stop him mentally, then I don't know. But then I look at Jhonny Gonzalez's record, for example. He's one of those fighters right now. He's 33 years old that you can say, I'm gonna put him into a category with let's say Gabriel Rosado. It seems as though the older they get, the somewhat better they get. And even after every time they lose, they seem to really learn from the past mistake. But Jhonny Gonzalez being stopped by Daniel Ponce de Leon, then before that, Toshiaki Nishioka, he hasn't been seen since Nonito Donaire trashed him. So now I'm thinking to myself, well, how much does Al Haymon care for his fighters? And will there be politics involved? I don't think that they have the balls to be bringing out these robberies and everything on national television. But my God, that is a sacrifice, to put Gary Russell Jr. in there with a knockout guy that has 48 knockouts, ladies and gentlemen, and well over 60 fights. Putting him in there against a guy like that, tough fight. But the winner is supposed to take on Abner Mares in June. So who's Abner Mares going to fight next? We don't know, because then the winner of that, Abner Mares versus who, is going to be taking on the winner of Gary Russell, apparently. Damn, I forgot his name. Goddamn guy's name already. See? See, I just be forgetting stuff because it's all late. I'm T Street Controversy, RealCombatMedia.com, T Street Controversy on Twitter, T Street Controversy on Facebook, T Street Controversy on Instagram. My Twitter, all my social media information is right below. I'm very active on social media. I'm very active on Twitter now. And also, I make sure I use my Twitter to make sure I give you official news.